I'm Naomi Nishi in the Office of Research Development and Education, and this module focuses on how to work with program officers. A program officer is an official at an agency who tends to be the liaison with outside researchers. The program officer is the person meant to work with researchers to make sure that they're getting the best set of proposals for funding in the door that can then go through review or study section, depending on the agency you're sending them to. It's important to remember that program officers are PhD level scientists, so they tend to be researchers or former researchers who are very aware of the field and very interested in talking with researchers about what they're doing and what sort of projects they are sending in as grant applications to further the field. Program officers tend to be very powerful people at their institution in terms of the influence that they can have over the grants program. At the National Science Foundation, program officers in a particular directorate are ultimately responsible for their budget and where their budget is allocated, although they do rely heavily on the review process. Before you contact a program officer, it's very important to do your homework. You want to begin by looking at the agency website. You want to understand what the agency is about, their mission, their vision, the types of projects that they've been funding. The other thing to do before you reach out to a program officer is you want to read that program announcement multiple times. The reason you want to be very familiar is you want to know if your project might be a good fit. If you ask a question of a program officer that can be easily found in the program announcement, they're going to know you didn't read that program announcement, and that will reflect poorly on you. Another thing you want to have ready before you contact a program officer is you want to have a 1 to 2 page write-up of your project. The reason you want to have that ready to go before you contact the program officer is oftentimes if you get them on the phone and give them your elevator pitch on your project, they get excited about what it is, and they say, oh, that's great, why don't you send me a 1 to 2 page write-up? And if you haven't written that, you're going to spend the next 24 hours writing that 1 to 2 page write-up, because if you wait for longer than a couple days, it's likely that they'll forget about the project. And so you did all this work to build up what you're doing and spark their interest, and then you don't follow up right away, and that interest starts to dwindle. So it's very important to have that ready to go and ship that off as quick as you can after you have the conversation where they ask for it. Even though program officers do have the responsibility of working with researchers to talk about their projects and understand what they are, it can be tricky to get a hold of them because they are talking with so many people. So oftentimes researchers want a clear process that they can use that is sort of the standard for reaching out to program officers. What we've heard from program officers is that they do not like cold calls. They tend to, they don't like abrupt conversations that they weren't prepared for. And remember, they were researchers in the field, so they want to do their homework before talking to you too. So the best way to address this is once you have, again, understood the agency, looked through their website, read the program announcement multiple times, and you have your project write-up, send them an email and say, I have a project, and give them maybe 3 to 5 sentences on what your project is about. No more than that. It shouldn't go past the view pane in the email. It's all at the front. Say, here's the project I'm working on. I was interested in talking with you about it. Would you have half an hour in the next couple of weeks to talk with me? And then wait for them to respond to you. Oftentimes, program officers are not quick to respond to initial emails, and it may take several times. What makes sense is to wait about a week, and if you haven't heard back from them, email them again. Always be cordial and say, hey, I know you're busy. I sent you this email last week. I would love to discuss it. Please let me know if you have time. Don't be pestering them about it, but be very cordial and realize that they're very busy and you're asking for their time.